Hello, everybody. How are you? So, my name is Troy Simon, and I'm going to talk to you guys about education and how it is a vehicle of liberation, of transformation. I grew up here in New Orleans, downtown in the Lower Ninth Ward with my family. I grew up poor. My family and I lived on the border of starvation. My mom didn't go to college. My father didn't go to college, and we didn't have much food in the house. So I used to be a tap dancer on Bourbon Street. And this has all happened before Hurricane Katrina. So this slide right here is going to sort of like tell you a bit about me. That's me and my friend and I, Jamal. And I was always told that education is power. Knowledge is power. Information is power. And education has transformed my life and some of my peers' life. This is me, my sister, and my uncle. I lived in the projects. I went to school down the street, Johnson C. Lockett. That's why I had many fights and had problems in school. I remember the teacher told me that, I don't know why you come here, so they told me to get out. And as a little boy, I used to walk home alone, and I used to cry because I never understood why the teacher would treat me that way. Yeah, I had my problems, and there were things that I did too, but I did it because I felt that no one really cared about me. I felt that I needed attention. I didn't really know how to express myself or tell those people how I really felt. So I did it by picking with other kids, having fights, sneaking out of the classroom. There were times where the teacher would call on me and she would tell me, read. And I would always make up excuses. I had a portfolio of excuses. I would tell the teacher my stomach hurt or I have to go to the restroom. Things ordinary kids do when they are sort of afraid or shy. Growing up in New Orleans, I used to steal, and the reason why I stole because I didn't really have much. And I remember a young man used to come every day. I used to call him Mr. Waterman. He worked for a sewage and water board. I believe I was 9 at the time. And he used to always tell me, you need to stay out of trouble, little kid, because if you keep doing that, your life will go the wrong way. But I never listened to him. So what I used to do is I started catching chickens. Me and my cousin and I, we would cut the spurs off the chickens, the cone off the chicken head. And we would sort of like sharpen our spurs and we would fight them, a cockfight. And that's how we would make money as little kids. Sometimes people used to come for us and we used to run because we stole their things. And that wasn't fair at all. And I understood that as a kid, but life wasn't fair to me at all either. And so that's how I felt. I felt, well, I have to get it how I live. Most of my friends thought that way, too. As a tap dancer in the French Quarter, I used to snatch purses. I didn't want to do it, and my friends didn't either. But some of those people that I snatched purses with, some of them are dead. Some of them are in prison for life. And I think about it all the time. It's as if my friends have pulled the tarot card of death. There have been several times I had visions of my friends just in prison, suffering. I talked to a few of them, and they cried to me each night, and they said, why? Why me? And I can't really tell them much, but stay strong and continue to move forward. This was during Hurricane Katrina. My family evacuated. I was left to fend for myself. I was hanging out with my cousin. We were sort of like going around the neighborhood, again, sort of having these cockfights, getting into mischief. And when I went home on that day during Hurricane Katrina, my family was gone. And I didn't know what to do, so I sort of like went back by my cousin's house, and I went with them in the St. Bernard Project, an abandoned building, 3rd floor. And I stayed there during the whole entire storm, looting. I was a kid. I was 12, smoking cigarettes. After Hurricane Katrina, me and my family and I, we moved to Houston, Texas. That's when I reunited with my mom. It was a few months before I saw my mom again. I didn't see my father within a year. My father, I found out that he was in Dallas, Texas. My father was out of my life as a little kid. I can remember, living in an abandoned building for a year. I believe it was the Desire Project. They was about to knock the building down, and my family was in there. And if my grandmother would have never came to that door, they would have killed us in that house. We didn't have no place to stay. And at the time, as a kid, I didn't really know what was going on. But After Hurricane Katrina, I met with Sarah Bliss, a TFA teacher who always told me that education is power. I was a bad kid, but she always had patience, and she listened to me. There would be times where I would walk out of the classroom, but she never gave up on me. She was persistent and dedicated to her work, dedicated to her job, and I really appreciate her for everything she does. And she's still in my life today, and she's in the audience. She supports me every step of the way, and we need more teachers like that today. This is the school, Sci Academy, that Miss Bliss told me to go to. She said that it would be a great school, so I sort of looked at it, and I made a decision to go there. I was a kid that was behind. Most people said that hard work cannot be compensated for lost time, but that's a lie. I believe that hard work can compensate for lost time. You can still learn. There's still a chance. There's still hope. So I had that hope. I was a juggernaut of faith, and I took that chance. I went to Sci Academy. I began to flower intellectually. At Sci Academy, there were some tough times where I didn't agree with the rules, and most people don't agree with the rules, but I believe that as a school that's there to help kids that want to learn, and it's tough. And some people don't like when you're tough on them. But I experienced that, and I like it, because when you're tough on kids and you on them every single day, maybe they don't realize it then and there, but they realize it later on that, you did this because you wanted me to make it. And, that's the same with Sci Academy. They wanted to see their kids grow. They wanted to see their kids in college. And Sci Academy has done that for me, my peers, and even my little brother who just graduated, and I'm really proud of him, and I'm happy. There were times where I thought about Ms. Bliss and how she was patient with me, and she never gave up on me. I never gave up on my little brother. I always look at him every day, and, I'll say, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. You could have been like me, but there were a time where I was all closed ears. I never really listened to people. I thought that, my life was over. There was no hope for me. My reading at that time, not during Sci Academy, but my reading when I was a little kid, growing up, 12 years old, it was assessed on the first and second grade reading level, but I would never read in the classroom because I always thought that, if I read, these kids would know that I don't know certain words. So I was afraid of that. But I began to learn how to read when I met Sarah Bliss in Houston, Texas, Ben Oxteen, Mr. Burton, Ms. Cummins. They helped me and they taught me. After that, I sort of began to take education seriously. And I began to see that education can do so many things on so many levels. Before I move on, I just want to tell you guys this story that had something to do with me changing my life. Tap dancing on Bourbon Street, I ran into a fortune teller. She was this woman that stopped me. I was with my friend D'Angelo. We were tap dancing on Decatur Street, and we were walking close by Jackson Square Park, and she stopped me and she called my name out, and she said, Troy. And I stopped by her, and I was like, hey, that's my name. How do you know me? And she said, well, there are some things that I know about you that you don't know about yourself. And so, my friend was like, this lady is crazy. What is she trying to, what's she trying to do? And so I was telling her, I don't have any money. And she was like, no, I don't really want your money, but I want to talk to you. And, I don't know why she wanted to talk to me. She could have talked to anybody else on the street, but she just picked me out of the crowd. And so she told me about my uncles, my cousins, and how they were under the wrong influence, and how my uncle was not doing so well. She told me about the people I was going with and the people that I was hurting. She said that my father wanted to see me change, make a difference. My grandmother wanted to see the same, but I never listened to them. And she started name dropping, and I was like, okay, so sounds believable. And she started looking at my palm of my hand, and she said, you have two choices. You either keep this life you have now, but you're either going to end up in prison or dead on the street. And I was like, okay. And this was like after Hurricane Katrina. So I said, what is the other choice? She said, if you change your life, you would be very successful. You would become a great man. And I was like, okay, that don't sound believable. And because of my condition, but she said, you make that decision. And she said, don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about how they approach you. Don't worry about how they think about you. She said, just keep on going and watch things move in your life. I was like, okay. So that said, I listened to the lady. I was at Sci Academy, still tap dancing on I stopped tap dancing on Bourbon Street because I changed my life and got into Christianity. I believed that I needed some virtues, kindness, love. I'm not a perfect person. No, I'm not. I believe that imperfection is a great thing because we always learning. We're always growing, developing as people. But as far as with education, I believe that education and religion both played a big role in my life because I believed in that woman who said that if I change my life, God wants me to change my life. And I believed in Miss Bliss. She said that education can change my life. Both of those interwoven in and out like a tapestry sort of helped me maneuver through this world. And it's very interesting. But at Sci Academy, I graduated, and I received the Leadership Scholarship from the Posse Foundation. I was receiving help from College Track as which is the after-school program that started in 2008. I went to College Track. I was like, a quiet kid, but I told the site director, Sergeant Burnside, that I'm really willing to learn, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. Any stroke of opportunity that knocks at my door, I'll take it right then and there. I won't waste no time. So she believed me, and so she took a chance with me. That's when Walter Isaacson came and Laureen Powell came, who is the founder of the College Track program, and they saw me and they was asking me questions, and so I answered them. Walter told me, if you write a story, it can be a short piece, I'll help you. He said, what I want you to do is apply for this scholarship. He said, I'm the founder president, not the founder, but the president and CEO of the Aspen Institute. So he took a chance with me, and he's still in my life today. I received the scholarship. At first, I didn't want to be a writer because I thought that I couldn't do it, but that was this woman, Allison Alsop, another example, just came in my life, and she worked with me, one-on-one, mostly every day. Like I said in the beginning, education is a vehicle of liberation. I began to see my life transform and move in ways that I never thought it would. I decided to choose Bard because I wanted to be a writer, and I knew that if I went there, they would make sure that I would improve my writing skills. I'm a senior now. I'm going to be graduating next year, and I'm really excited about that. But there were several people that doubted me and said that, I don't think that you can make it. I had a few friends that said the same thing. And, I see my friends today, and I look at them, and some of them are not really doing too well. But the same person that doubted me, they want help from me, and I'm there to help them, I received a call from the White House talking to President Barack Obama. I was talking to First Lady Michelle Obama, and they was like, how would you like if you, come speak at the White House? And I was like, me? And I was like, oh, you don't know me. And so I began to see this education, how beautiful it is and how it can transform my life. My father was sitting there and he cried because my father was there when I couldn't read. My father was there when I walked out on him and I told him, I don't want no help. I cussed him out and I said, I don't want anything to do with you. My father, he is a great guy. He always preached to me and tell me the right thing, but I never listened. But he was really excited. I went to the White House. I'm very humble. So I was talking with First Lady Michelle Obama. We were sort of having a nice conversation. It felt like I was in a dream. After going to the White House, I was a speaker on New York Times panel, and we were talking about how education is key, higher education issues, and how to create opportunities for underprivileged students with promise. So you can see these people that were in my life, they begin to transform me and help me in several ways that I couldn't help myself. And I really appreciate them because without them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be speaking to you guys. I wouldn't have that, that drive because I don't have nothing pushing me behind. So I really appreciate them. I want to share a quick story with you guys. I was talking to a woman She came over to college track, and she was telling me the story. And she said that there was an old guy that was sitting on this porch, and that he would go on the porch every morning. But when he would go on his porch, he would watch this young guy walk by. And this young guy, he told him, he said, "See that boulder over there? See that big rock? I want you to push it." And the young guy, just shrugged his shoulders and said, "I'll push the rock." So he would go out every morning, the old man, and see the young guy pushing the rock. Until one day he went out early that morning, and he saw that the young man wasn't pushing the rock anymore. And so when the old guy seen him on the porch, when the old guy was sitting on the porch and he seen him walking by, he asked the young guy, "Why did you stop pushing that rock?" And the young guy said, "Because I never moved it." And the young guy sort of about to walk off, and the old man said, "Well, I never told you to move it. All I told you to do was push." And that's what life is about. It's about pushing. It's about persistency, perseverance. You never give up on yourself. You never give up on kids. I don't care what the situation may be, because we need those kids. They are the future. They are like the hope and the dream. And I believe that. And that story says a lot, about me, about my friends. We don't give up on them. We continue to work with them and help them. And these people did that, and they made sure that I got where I needed to be in college and off the street. And I think that it's all about how you see life. You guys can read this. I'll give you a few minutes. It says two things. First, it says opportunity is nowhere. But then again, it says opportunity is now here. I see life that way. I think that opportunity is here, and I take it seriously. I take my life seriously. I take education seriously. I take the kids that are interested in education seriously. You want to learn, I'm going to help you. And if you don't want to learn, I'm still going to help you. And I'm going to nibble at your heels until you change your mind. I'm going to nibble at your heels until you change your mind. And I think that's what I want to do as a teacher, because I do want to be a fifth grade teacher back in New Orleans and help kids. I want to transform their lives. I want to tell them about my story and about my situation, how I couldn't do certain things, and while education just transformed me tremendously. This was me as a kid in 7th grade. I wasn't listening. I had dreads. I thought I had it going on. I thought I, was doing good. But to tell you the truth, I didn't look so good. And, it is true. But that was, us on the playground, and, I wasn't bothering to listen to nobody. But anyway, but that's what education can do. It can transform a young man and make him something great. And thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. It was nice talking to you.